Many strange things have happened. The kind of things that eat at you more and more as time goes by. Left confused and sometimes frustrated, it takes its toll on the mind, physically terrifying on multiple occasions. Not sure how it got there, but it was definitely the largest one seen so far, and it was between us. The power displayed alone is enough to paralyze, frozen to the spot. Probably the worst part of it all, you are dealing with the unknown. Every little detail of the unbelievable events amplified with uncertainty. In an instant, reality is shattered, and the world never the same again. Once it is known, it can never be unknown. Always in the back of your mind, finding yourself on edge whenever outdoors, and a new fear setting in as the day turns to night. Not knowing anything about these beings, or how dangerous they may be. How many are out there, or where to avoid them. What else is out there that we don't know about? The impact it had was devastating. Some of the few passions in life almost completely destroyed. Believing things would not have been nearly as traumatic as they were if these beings were known about beforehand. That is why this whole ordeal is being documented. Before giving away everything that happened, it is probably important to understand who this is happening to better understand the thought process and emotions throughout the encounters. Even as it was happening, I still couldn't believe it. Maybe these Bigfoot creatures could exist somewhere, but not around here. With the amount of time spent outdoors myself, all of the hunting fishing content consumed, the other outdoorsmen spoken to, or even someone they know, nothing had ever been seen or mentioned. As a young child, the best thing in the world was going fishing or just being in the woods. With an early interest in hunting and fishing, and a passion for catching frogs, turtles, and any other critter I could find. Getting a little older, most of my time was spent in the woods, riding quads and dirt bikes, shooting pellet guns, building forts and damming creeks, or just hanging out. Every fall since old enough to get a hunting license, as many hours as possible were spent in the tree stand. Hundreds of early mornings creeping through the woods in the dark. Very rarely using a flashlight or headlamp. With no real large predators, I was completely comfortable out there. The black bear get pretty large around here, but there was no reason to be worried or concerned. When I was 13, we went to a more remote section of the mountainous hills here for opening day of deer archery season. It was only my second archery season and had already got my first buck with my little recurve. It was getting dark on the opening day, so I climbed out of the tree. Kneeling down in the dark, untying my bow from the rope used to lower it to the ground, I hear something crashing through the brush towards me. It stopped about 30 yards away. I knocked an arrow. The brush erupted again, and it was in the little opening right in front of me. Couldn't have been more than 15 feet away. And this is not a deer. The second that I realized it was a bear, it started running directly at me. Without time to think, I raised my bow over my head and yelled at it. I could have reached out and touched it as it came skidding to a stop, standing up on its hind legs, tumbling over itself, and running in the opposite direction. It was all over so fast, there was no time to get nervous. Felt lucky to get to see a big bear so close. Not only comfortable in those dark woods, it actually felt safe. Would much rather walk through the dark woods without a light than down a dark alley in some parts of the city. You're more likely to be attacked by one of those city animals. Those furless, two-legged predators, unpredictable with their unnatural way of life. The animals in the woods usually do things that make sense for their survival. Most predators probably won't risk their life for a meal that probably isn't worth the effort. With no large predators in the area, there was no need to worry about anything like that. Felt like the woods were where I belong, and the only place I wanted to be. Creeping through the dark woods hours before the sun begins to rise. Getting set up in a tree, blending into the area, watching the day come to life as the sunlight begins to filter through the trees. Staying as motionless as possible till the sun goes back down. Then climb down and sneak back through the dark woods to the truck. Not the trophy hunting type, but still passing on some very nice bucks, and somewhat regularly. If I fill my tag today, I won't be able to hunt tomorrow. If I shoot one this week, won't have a buck tag for next week. There wasn't anything I wanted to do more. Nothing would keep me out of the woods. Then it happened. The realization that just about ruined it all. Now, getting up early, putting on my cold camouflage that is left hanging outside, loading up my bow and tree stand, and heading off to those dark woods. There is an undeniable pounding in my chest, An uncomfortable feeling, from unusually sweaty palms, sometimes even feeling nauseous. As hard as I try, there is no distracting myself. There is no forgetting what you now know. What was full of excitement and hopeful feeling is now filled with dread and anxiety, making sure to have my headlamp and that it is fully charged. At least it's getting a little better. No panic attacks halfway to the tree. Definitely better than waiting for daybreak before getting in the woods. There was even a point where it made me nervous being in the woods during the day. They seem to appear out of nowhere. Their speed is unbelievable, and their strength is extraordinary. It can be extremely difficult to get yourself to take those first steps into the darkness, once you know. Finding out the hard way, you don't really know what's out there, is traumatic. The things that I love to do the most, things I wanted to share with my kids, will never be the same again. Thinking taking your kid hunting, fishing, and camping was something every parent should do, something good parents do. With what I know now, I question if it is irresponsible. If taking your child out there makes you a bad parent. One more reason I think everyone should be aware. The messed up part of my situation, the majority of the activity wasn't out doing anything, it happened at home. It would really be nice if we knew just whether or not we even need to be worried. Although when they are approaching, it doesn't seem to be in a stalking or threatening way. It still felt terrifying, like a sickening feeling, wishing I wasn't seeing it. It became too real, too fast. It was an intense and intimidating situation. I wanted to know, but wasn't ready to find out. I ran back inside the house. Every time. So much time is wasted in this confused state, trying to wrap your head around something that people are made fun of for believing exist. How many times I tried to brush it off or explain it away. The depressing feeling from questioning your very own mind. There is no way that I am the only one that has had to deal with something like this. Too many people are affected by the shock, confusion, or trauma. It shouldn't be put out there as something to believe in. The fact of the existence of these beings and others should be common knowledge. So here is my story of the realization of knowing. My contribution to the normalization and common knowledge. If I had known, I may not have gone looking for answers though. I might not have accidentally stumbled upon a much bigger picture.